everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited today. We have actress Donna Benedicto here. This is her third time on the podcast. And thank you so much, Donna, for coming on.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. I can't believe it's been so long since we chatted. 2020?
Yeah, October 2020. It was the last time that you were on the show, which is crazy because we chat on Instagram and stuff like that fairly often. And so it just doesn't feel like it's been that long.
No, I know. It's funny how Instagram does that. Hey, you feel like you're in touch with everybody. Like, didn't I just see you? Wait a second. That's been 3 years. Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what we chatted about back then.
Well, you were on for Jingle Bell Bride, I think.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That was a fun movie.
Yeah, you have so much that you've done since then. I was amazed how many projects you've been in the last 3 years.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's crazy. It's a great thing. I sometimes don't stop to think about it, but some people are like, oh, check your IMDb once in a while. I'm like, right. I should do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about, we just missed paths at South by Southwest, but we'll talk about your movie there. But yeah, you've been busy. You had 3 leads in rom-coms. Oh my gosh.
Were we talking about how we must have, because I pretty much discuss it on every podcast I go on. When in 2020 we were talking about representation and how it was just starting to happen. And then there's been more. There's another Filipina actress who just did a lead for a TV movie as well. So it's going so well for representation right now.
Yeah.
In these rom-coms.
Vanessa Lachey, she's done some. She's Filipino.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've heard of others. So you had Wedding Cake Dreams.
Yes. Did you see that one?
I haven't seen it yet, I must admit, but I'm planning on it because I talked about it with Markian when he was on.
Yeah. Oh, Markian's the best. He's such a great actor and he's such a sweetheart too.
Yeah.
And I know all the ladies that saw that movie were like, who is that guy? Well, I'm pretty sure
I think he was saying that was his first lead too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Was it? I think so. Maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. That was directed by Brooke Nevin, who's also a sweetheart. She's also a really great actress. She's in quite a few Hallmarks, I think, as well.
Yeah. We've seen her in things. And then you had Farmer Seeking Love with Jesse Hutch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see that one? Because everybody loves that one.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen it, but
you have to see that one. That's one.
I will.
That's like, they're all great. This is the one to watch just because everybody loves Jesse's performance in it. And the story's so cute. And this one was shot in Montreal too. So looks a little different as well. So
I love Jesse. I mean, he's great in all his roles, but
who doesn't love Jesse? Honestly, everybody who not just watches him on TV and also meets him in person and gets to work with him, everybody loves Jesse. He's such a great guy.
He was our 3rd interview that we ever did on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, way back January 2018. And I will always be grateful for him because it was one of those recordings where nothing went right. And there was just so much buffering and we had to restart 3 or 4 times. And he kept having to tell the same story over and over again. And he was just so nice and so patient.
Oh my God.
So I'm always grateful for that.
That's exactly how he is in person as well. If there's anything to go wrong with an actor that will be cool with everything, it's Jesse Hutch for sure.
Yeah.
He's awesome. He's awesome. But you have to watch that one. Rachel, promise me.
I will.
That's the one to watch because everybody loves Jesse's performance in that. He's so great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you had Inspiring Love with Jeremy Gilbot.
Yes.
Also fun.
That one hasn't come out in Canada yet, unfortunately. I think that one's over in Europe. I haven't even seen that one yet.
Okay.
But that one was shot in Kelowna. And it's really, really beautifully shot. Nicholas Humphreys directed it. And it's a really, really cute story. And I got to actually flex my comedy chops on that one. It's pretty
Ah,
funny. Yeah. It's
yeah.
really fun. It's really fun.
That's nice. Well, it's nice for Jeremy because he lots of times ends up playing villains.
Right. Yeah, he got to play he got to play the good guy for once. Well, I
Yeah.
won't give too much away, but yeah, he's a good guy. Good guy, bad guy, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
like in the Christmas waltz, he leaves Lacey Chabert. Like
Yeah. Just leaves her in the
leaves
dust.
her right for the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he's a villain on When Calls the Heart.
Oh, that's right. I think he was
He was
telling me
like
about
a
that.
railroad guy going
Hmm.
into Ruin Hope Valley.
I feel like I need to play a villain in one of these sometime.
I think so. I
I
mean,
think so.
I think it would be, especially in When Calls the Heart, I think it would be more fun to be one of the villains.
Oh yeah, it's really
Yeah.
fun. It's really fun playing a villain when you're naturally a kind person because you get to
Yeah.
not play yourself. Sometimes you say some super mean things and you're like, that felt good for a second and I'm glad it's not real life.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
So with all these leads that you're getting, do you self-tape for them or had they just come into you? Is it what happened to switch the tide, turn the tide?
To turn the tide, well, the first one, Wedding Cake Dreams, I auditioned for it. And what was the next one? The Lifetime movie. I was actually.
Oh yeah, because you had Waking Up into Danger.
Yes, that's right. That one
for Lifetime.
I actually got that last minute because I was offered the villain role in that one, which I was super excited to play. And I think they lost their lead. The lead dropped out, like scheduling something happened. So then I got offered the lead and I had 2 days notice to do that whole script. I was like, oh, okay, yay. And then got the script, had a table read, and then we shot on the Monday, like booked it the Friday. Yeah, booked it the Saturday, shot on the Monday. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah. What's it like when you're playing one of these thrillers? Is it hard to kind of get in that space?
It's so much fun because you get to flex all your acting chops. Literally everything that could have happened to my character happened to my character. But my best friend tried to kill me. I was in a coma. I had to recover. I had amnesia.
Oh my gosh.
My man sleeping with the girl who wanted to kill me. It was so much fun. And then she set my house on fire, kicked me. She stole my daughter, and it's
oh my gosh.
I know.
Wow. This sounds like a good one.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. And it's so fun to play just because they're really, really outrageous things that you can't exactly relate to. So you get to dig deep and be like, what would I do if someone was pointing a gun at me? It's a good exploration sort of acting
now, if
thing.
you have, this sounds like it was a pretty silly one, but if you have like a scene where you have to get emotional in one of these kind of movies, is it hard to kind of get in that space for the day when you're an actor?
Oh yeah. This is basically why most actors, the good actors I know are in class, like go to acting classes so we could practice, because time is money. And on set, if you can't really get there, you're kind of wasting everyone's time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty difficult. It's a skill to learn for sure. You have to do your best to empathize. Like a lot of the majority of acting is empathy, just pretending something's happening to you. Like, how would this feel if this was happening to me? And getting in that headspace. Some people use what's called substitution, where they like to or are trained to take situations in their lives that are kind of similar, or replace whoever the actor is with someone from their life. And I don't like to do that because it gets pretty heavy.
I heard some people, they think about their dog dying, which would be very traumatic.
It's so traumatic. I personally don't work that way, just because I don't like that having to sit in my body and having to be that upset. Like, but I guess it's a good tool to have if you can't get there.
You just put like a little bit of lemon juice in your eye that makes you cry.
Lemon juice. I should try that, Rachel. So I'm gonna request lemon juice on set for the emotional scenes. It's like, hey guys, listen, let's just try this. Let's get a couple lemons. Rachel from Hallmark's podcast said maybe we should do some lemon crying. So yeah,
I've heard that for stage actors. That's what I do that.
Oh man, I couldn't imagine. I haven't done stage, like I haven't done theater, so I can't imagine all the pressure and of all the people out there, and if something goes wrong or whatever, and you have to go and emote.
Yeah.
Must be tough. But I've seen some incredible actors on stage who can really get there.
Yeah.
Without lemon, or who knows what they're doing backstage. Maybe they are using lemon.
Yeah.
It's the new thing.
Yeah. If you're listening and you're an actor, let us know what you do.
Rachel's tips from Hallmark's podcast. Lemon crying. I love it.
Makes you cry. Yeah, I just went and saw a musical last night. I saw Titanic, the musical.
What? Titanic has a musical? No.
Yeah, they do. It doesn't have like the James, like from the movie. It's like its own thing.
Okay,
but yeah, it's definitely, it's pretty emotional.
What is the set like? How?
It's at this theater called Hale Theater, which is pretty fancy. They've got this I mean, the tickets are pretty expensive. So, but the stage has all these different levels. And so like when they would have like the third class, and then like the first class, and they'd like bring it up and then bring it down and reset everything. And
they class it like for like the tickets. That's for the cool.
for the Titanic.
Oh,
so they'd have like one level and next level, and then have people. They have all these different kind of paths around the stage. It's theater in the round, so you're all looking down on it, so they can bring it up, bring it down. It's pretty fancy.
It sounds expensive.
It is expensive.
Like, oh damn, that sounds expensive, but yay. Oh, I want to see that.
Yeah. Well, hey, if you come down to Utah, I'll take you to Hale Theater.
All right.
That's a deal.
We'll go.
So when you found out that you got Wedding Cake Dreams, did you just freak out? Were you so excited?
I did. I did. I actually, so I can't remember if we discussed this before, but back to representation here, because there's not a lot of Filipino actors who are working. Like a lot of the time, the older generation would never think they would be successful acting because they've never seen any successful actors that are Filipino on TV. It's changing now. There's a lot more of us, but that movie has a family cast around the lead. So there's a mom, there's a dad, I have a sister, and
nice.
I really didn't think that I would book it because it would be really hard to find a mom and dad, and maybe easier to find a sister. But yeah, so I booked it and I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I booked this. And of course, the really, really sweet producers called me and were like, what are we gonna do? We can't. Like, who are we going to cast? What do? We can't find you a dad or a mom. course, right? And we had this discussion. They said, like, because the mom and the dad also had a lot of dialogue, especially the mom. So you need experienced actors to be able to pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
So if there were like Filipino actors in Vancouver, they might have not been that experienced. So the producers were thinking, okay, do we just say you're adopted? Like, what do we do? And that could have been it.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, we all collaborated and said, like, why don't we just make it an American family? We'll just get people who are kind of your skin color and just put them together. Kind of like how, you know, in the Caucasian movies, there's a redhead brother and a brunette sister and whatnot.
It's true.
So yeah, so my father, the man who played my father, was Spanish, and then my mother was half Japanese, and then my sister was part Italian, part Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
it works.
Right. It was a step up in its own direction for representation. Like, hey, this is an American family.
Mm-hmm.
And no one's questioning it. There's no story around it. We're just an American family. And it was great. I feel that there should be more projects that are willing to do that, where there's no story around it, where it's not like, hey, this is our Asian movie about dumplings or something. They could just be like, hey, look, this is just a movie and there's people in it and they're a family. It's fine. So
people only think about things like that when it's done really badly.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if the movie's really bad, then you start thinking about stuff like what was I thinking about? We were just talking about it on the podcast. There was this movie that was not very good. I didn't enjoy from Hallmark, and I was talking about how the sound mix wasn't very good in the movie.
Right.
Every time they went outside, there was this really strong ambient noise. And I said, I only really noticed that in bad movies because I'm
yeah.
and then I'm like, oh, it didn't sound very good.
Right. I know, because you get, if you're not connected to the story or the characters, you just start noticing things like that. That's when all the continuity starts like popping out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, they have a different, color shirt, or they're holding a mug in one scene and then not in the next, or something like that.
It's like, how come they've been eating in this scene and it's only been 4 minutes and there's half their plate gone and then they're having their plates full and then there's yeah, it's very true. You can avoid that if your audience is invested in the story.
Exactly. Yes. So we always love to talk to you about craft services because we know you're passionate about it.
I'm very passionate.
So have you seen the evolution of craft services? So I know they really weren't hardly even doing it during the pandemic, and now has it kind of come around again, or what's the status?
Well, I think this is kind of a good thing for me, actually, because when I talked to you, what was the first time? What was the year that I first talked to you guys? What year was that?
That's a good
2019? Must have been 2019.
Yeah, it probably was. Let me see.
But while you're looking that up, I'm pretty sure that was when they had everything out all the time. There'd be bowls of chips.
19. Yeah.
There'd be like donuts. There'd be granola bars. There'd be fruit. There'd be like
we
pastries.
Talked about it for like 30 minutes of that interview.
I know. Well, I was quite a few years into my acting career, but I was just getting bigger roles where I was on set more often, and so I was just so excited about the food. I'm still so excited about the food. It's one of the best benefits of being an actor during the pandemic. And still now to this day, most craft services, you have to stand there and order, which is great because I'm not going to ask for 6 donuts if I'm standing there in line. I'll ask for 1, which is great. Whereas before, if there's 12 donuts out there, I'm like probably walking away with at least 3 plus everything else that's on the table. So I think it's been better. And then when you kind of think about it now, about a bunch of bowls of food just chilling out where everyone can just grab their stuff, you're like,
Yeah.
maybe it's for the best that the crafty people give you your snacks individually.
Yeah. But they haven't gone back to buffets.
No, they haven't. And you feel a little like, and some crafty people will give you a look if you're like, hey, can I get another one? Like, hey, listen.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. Best-selling author Irene Hannon is back with the latest installment in her Hope Harbor series, Windswept Way. Buying a supposedly haunted house wasn't in Ashley Scott's plans, but when an intriguing opportunity drops into her lap, she's ready to launch a new life. But she can't do it alone, and her reclusive new neighbor, Jonathan Gray, may be just the person to help, if only there were room in his life for romance. Come home to Hope Harbor, where hearts heal and love blooms. Buy Windswept Away today at bakerbookhouse.com and get 30% off and free U.S. shipping. That's bakerbookhouse.com.
It's a good and a bad thing.
You're like, don't judge me.
Don't judge me. What if I just wanted another donut? All right, just give me one. But you know what I miss? What I miss so much is the candy tray. I think I told you about this. So usually later in the day after you've had lunch, craft services will come around with a tray of candy for the crew. And just to give you a bit of a sugar boost later in the day. And this is before they bring out the hot snack for you, which I'll get into as well. But yeah, they would have this tray with like Snickers and gummies and sour candies and mints and gum. And they just go around and you just take the little tongs and you just load up. And now they have like little bags of candy that you have to go and get. And then it's not filled with the stuff you like.
Yeah, then you end up getting a bunch of lemon.
Yeah.
Lemon Starburst.
Lemon's only for the eyes on set now.
Only for the eyes.
Lemon's only for the crying. No one wants to eat lemon. Like,
right. Well, we have Easter coming up, and I was talking about this with Micah Kelpin, who we had on this week, that Easter, I think, is an underrated candy holiday.
Oh yeah.
You know, of course we think of Halloween and Christmas, but like Easter has some high quality candy.
It does.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
So do you have a favorite Easter candy? Like Cadbury eggs or Reese's eggs or jelly beans?
Oh man, I love Cadbury eggs, but god damn, those make me feel like crap after now. I used to eat those. Like I loved those. And when I was a kid, Easter, just sitting there licking the middle out. So good.
Oh, the big ones.
Yeah. But then now the Cadbury egg with the like milky, sugary middle. I would sit there and eat that in like half an hour. But if I were to eat that now, I would it's so much sugar. I would feel so gross.
It'll get you wired up.
That's totally. Sure. But the crash after.
Yeah.
It's too much. Way too much. What's yours? What's your favorite?
I think the Reese's eggs, because they are definitively better than the cups.
Reese's have eggs?
Yes. And it's like a smooth covering of chocolate, not the hard covering like on the cups. Yeah. So it's the eggs are where it's at. They're so good.
I didn't know Reese's had eggs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You got to try them.
Oh no.
Yeah, report on your Instagram when you try them. Okay.
Okay, and I'll tag you.
Okay, good.
Are they like minis? Do they come in a bag?
Yeah, they're in a bag. Yeah.
Okay,
or like a tray. They're kind of on a tray.
A tray.
Yeah, there's like, and then there'll be like 12 of them or whatever.
Okay, this better not just be American, because I'll be so disappointed. I'm going to be looking for those. I'll be so mad.
You all up there in Canada.
I'll be so mad. I know this isn't Easter. It's not an Easter food, but what I've been obsessed with lately is different flavors of Oreos. There is these carrot cake Oreos, and I know they're in the States. They get like imported into here to specialty corner stores. But
yeah, the mint is pretty good. Mint
Yeah,
Oreo.
mint is good. Mint is
You
good.
should try that. Yeah.
If you haven't tried carrot cake, it's like
I will.
delish.
Yeah, the peanut butter was disappointing. It tasted more like mocha. It tasted weird.
Interesting. Oh, I haven't
Don't
seen
try
those
the
out
peanut
here.
butter.
Okay,
There's no
noted. We should just catch up every month on snacks.
Yeah.
Like, what would you try?
You know what? If we had a monthly craft services slash snacks podcast, I think that would take off.
You know, people would be very interested in that.
So.
I think.
I would listen to that.
Same. I'd be like, wait, what show has that? Let me get on that show. Call my agents. I'm like, listen, I need to get on this show because they're serving Reese's eggs in their candy bags.
And I mean, I guess guilty pleasure. I have two guilty pleasures. One of them is watching Food Network. Like, it's just for some reason it's relaxing to me to like watch people try to beat Bobby Flay. I don't even know why. It is. And then the other thing that I watch, which is ridiculous, is all of these park YouTubers that like, I have no plans to go to Disney World or any place like that in the near future, but I find them like somewhat addicting to watch someone. Like, I know a ridiculous amount about all the different hotels. I could tell you about all the different restaurants and stuff at Disney World. And I have never been. Oh, I went once when I was 12, but I've never been as an adult, and I have no plans in going. And lately, my newest obsession has been watching this lady who reviews Vegas buffets. I have no plans in going to Vegas. I have no interest in buffets.
You need to send me that link.
Yes.
I'm about the buffets.
It's Ruby Travels, I think is her name. And she's the way she describes food is very intoxicating.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm into it. You got to send me that.
All right. Well,
okay. My embarrassing, so my guilty pleasure, well, this is years ago, and this is why I don't have cable. Like, I stopped. I stopped paying for cable for this reason. Was I would watch like 6 episodes of like the Pawn guys.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
The Pawn Stars. I'm like, what is, and before, and this was, I think, was this before I was acting? Maybe just starting. I would watch so many episodes of that for no reason, like I was just wanted to hear them.
I went through a phase. I understand.
Yeah, you watched it too.
Yeah,
and then, okay, I don't know anybody else who was on this kick, but the Gator Hunter guys. Like, it would be the same thing over and over again, but just different guys like hunting gators. And they would know certain gators wouldn't bite on that. It was I would sit and watch episodes of that, and then I would just wake up from my gator hunting coma. Like, how many episodes have I sat and watched?
I never watched that one, but I did watch Duck Dynasty.
I also watched Duck Dynasty. Yeah, I did. Yeah. And now my guilty pleasure. I only watch this when I hang out with friends who have cable. Because like if it's like we make it a thing, is Too Hot to Handle.
Oh.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, the drama. It's
my friend has been telling me all about Love is Blind. I have never watched it. And there's just too many shows.
Yeah, Love is Blind season 1 is pretty good. I heard this season is kind of a no.
But I also love, going back to the food shows, I love the Great British Bake Off as well.
Don't you get hungry though?
I do get hungry. So it's not necessarily the most healthy of thing, but I don't know. There's just something relaxing about it to me. I can't even explain it. But it's pretty much the only thing I watch that I'm not covering on a pod in some way. I'm just too busy right now. And there's so many movies coming out as a film critic. Yeah. And I've started in the last year and a half, I've started becoming a theater critic. And so I'm going to 2-3 shows a week, reviewing them for Utah Theater Bloggers and for my own blog. And so there's just not enough time to watch all these shows.
I understand completely.
But there's something relaxing about just turning on an episode of Top Chef or the Bobby Flay or something like that for me.
And see, the thing about those shows is you can just invest in one episode.
Yeah,
if you start Love is Blind or whatnot, you're gonna want to binge it. You just they leave you hanging. those producers edit those so perfectly that you have to go to the next episode.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, so you were in an indie that played at South by Southwest with Love in a Major Organ.
Yes.
And so why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the movie and what your experience was at South by Southwest?
Oh my gosh. Well, so the movie is a little different. It's a little different than your usual rom-com or television movie. It's like a love story with yourself and other people. It's where it's in a world where everyone's heart is an object, like it's not an actual organ. Like your heart could be a lantern, or your heart could be a orange, or your heart could be a violin.
And they can like pull it out of their body and give it to another person.
Yes. We sound crazy talking about it like that. Like when my friends have read the description, like, what? I don't get it. I'm like, you know, you're not really supposed to like get it. It's just you just have to imagine that that's how the world is in that world anyway. So the whole premise is basically, your heart's not an organ, it's an object. And in this world, you don't feel emotions. Like people don't like to feel emotions. They actually suppress everything. And if they are to feel emotions, they have to go to a place to feel them. They like pay for the service to feel them. And also technology rules, which is this script was written a few years ago. I think she said 5 years ago. I should double check on that. But
now, did your character know about taking the organs out of the body? Because it seemed like she didn't really understand that part of it.
Yeah. So I think my character, for whatever reason, did not really she wasn't very emotionally attached to her heart. My character really loved the technology. Like in this world, there is an app that people rely on to like dictate how your life is run. Like it dictates how you are in relationships. It knows what you quote unquote like and sort of makes decisions for you, with you. And my character really embraced that. And I feel the characters who had the objects for hearts that ripped them out were very, very emotional. Like if you remember at the beginning of the movie, that the gentleman who was on the cliff who ripped out his heart because he was crying and he was in a lot of pain, and he ripped it out and he felt nothing. So I feel like if you already kind of feel nothing, like if you're not that emotional in that world, you don't really need to rip your heart out. So I think my character, Casey, was just like, I love the apps. I love how it runs my life. And she did love her friend, but she never got that deep. So I think that's why she didn't really understand.
Yeah. Because her friend tries to throw her a bridal shower. Right?
Yeah.
And it's all Cheez-Its.
Yeah. So, so the whole premise around that is my character is so focused on her image and her rating on this app that everything has to be perfect, like to her liking. So according to Casey, my character, I want high-end friends, a high-end party with music that everyone can rate well. But I even invite a friend, quote unquote friend, that I've never met before to just give me a better rating, to rate the party. But Anna, our protagonist, is she's
an artist.
She's an artist. And so she's not on the app. She doesn't know the rating. She doesn't really know what I want and doesn't care really what I want, because she thinks what I want is to have fun. And she's an artist. She's out there. And in this world, it's kind of looked down upon to be out there. So she decorates this party and has a bunch of Cheez-Its at the party. And I'm completely mortified because this is going to pull my rating down, because this friend I don't really know is just going to rate me low, and I'm going to have a low rating on the app, and the whole app is my life. And that's what happens there. And I think the Cheez-Its are just like symbolic of just Anna's personality and Annabelle's personality, and how she's the complete opposite of the spectrum of Casey. It's I love that scene.
So yeah. So what did you feel like the movie is trying to say? What's the core like message in this world and taking out your hearts and everything?
I think I think it's just trying to reflect kind of back to us what
Uh-huh.
technology might be kind of
Yeah.
doing to us, and how if we lose the connection that we have with other people and like in present life, that we could go down that hole of wanting to rip our hearts out so we don't feel anything, and
Mm-hmm.
having to go feel emotions at a facility instead of in real life. And I think it just makes you kind of think like, hey, what would it like to what would it be like to rip your heart out and give it to someone else? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, sure, that might be great so you don't feel anything, but it also is like, should we not feel anything?
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly like they're using a lot of lemon juice in this
Yeah.
movie.
I did.
Yeah, a lot of emotion.
A lot of emotion, right? So much
Yeah.
lemon juice within that story. But it is yeah, it's supposed to kind of just make you think, because I'm sure every one of us has gone through some traumatic stuff that's really really painful, that you have to it takes time to
Mm-hmm.
process and get over. But like, how convenient would it be to be able to rip your heart out so you don't feel any of it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then it just
Rather,
shows
because she's
what would
like
happen.
grieving. Not that we want to give away the whole movie, but like she's like grieving for her mom and
Yeah.
other things. Like, and so that kind of leads her down the spiral because she can't
Mm-hmm.
like, really grieve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it must have been fun to be at South by Southwest
Oh my
Austin.
gosh, it was so much fun. Have you been to Austin before
It was
that?
my first. Well, I had been to Austin before, but it was my first time for the festival.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So much fun. You need to like lots of coffee, lots of caffeine. There was so much going on. Oh my
Yeah.
God. So
I mean,
many.
because I've been to Sundance many times because I live here in Utah.
Right.
So I've been 7, 8 times to Sundance.
Oh,
But
fun.
this, yeah, which is super fun. But this was just on like a whole different scale because not only do they have all of the, the films, but they also have a music festival and they have, I mean, I didn't even participate in most of the stuff because my pass was just the film pass, but there was just so much going on. It was amazing.
Oh my gosh. It was almost too much. Like, it was
Yeah.
so overwhelming. Did you get into the Amazon Prime party? Did you go to that part?
No.
Oh my gosh. That was like, I think that was, there's so many cool parties and things to see. That one was really awesome. They had free food, obviously. I'm down for the free food. And they had like different setups for each of their shows. They had like a
Yeah.
homage to the boys and stuff. That was really cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and there's the Canada House out there, which is like a venue that's, I don't know, hosts Canadian artists, I think. And we were our little crew of with Love and a Major Organ people were invited to a lot of the Canadian parties, and we got to run into a bunch of Canadian Vancouverites who are making films, producing films, acting in films.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
You're going to be in Professional Bridesmaid
Yes.
this weekend. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Oh my gosh. First of all, Hunter is an angel. She's like,
Yeah. We love both of the Hunter King and Chandler.
they're both,
We love both of them.
oh, they're both so sweet. So, so sweet. I didn't get to work with Chandler. too much, but when I did hang out with him on set, like he's so funny and he's so nice, and
Yeah.
he's a great guy and a great actor. And Hunter is a freaking angel, and I got to work with Hunter because I play her bestie. So Hunter's character is Maggie, and I am Nora. So my character is a wedding planner, and Hunter's character, Maggie, is a professional bridesmaid. And so she basically gets hired to be a bridesmaid in these weddings. And she basically is like my right hand woman. She takes care of all this, like the stress
You're the
brides
bride?
problems. No, I'm the wedding planner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I see,
I get hired to plan this mayor's daughter's wedding, which is like a big deal. And it's a big wedding. And I asked Maggie to help me out with it, to be the professional bridesmaid in the wedding, because the wedding is really stressful and there's a lot going on. So she basically, Maggie does all the stressful things. Like she makes appointments for the dress fittings. She calms things down, and the whole family and everyone doesn't know that she's a professional bridesmaid. They think she's just a old friend from back in the day. There's some funny parts about that too.
Well, when we were preparing for the preview for this, I found out, did you know this is like a real thing? Professional bridesmaids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's like real things that this lady, Jen Glatz, that she works with anywhere between 20 and 35 bridesmaids per year since breaking ground on her business, Bridesmaids for Hire.
Do you think that's where they got it from?
Glantz is not a wedding planner. She will not schedule the father-daughter dance or color coordinate the unruly groomsmen, but she will serve as the emotional fulcrum on the biggest day of your life by being the best bridesmaid she can be.
Yep. So that's basically Maggie's character. Like, I do all the planning, and she does the emotional work. She's there for her. She kind of is the mediator with the drama between the other bridesmaids.
Yeah.
In the maid of honor. She
charges $2,000 a client, makes over $300,000 a year. And I'm like thinking, if anybody out there wants me to be the bridesmaid, I will do it for way cheaper.
Yeah. You know what though, Rachel? It's a lot of work. If you think about, you have to pretend that you're an old friend. Yeah, you gotta make sure everybody's in a good mood. You gotta be on the whole time.
Yeah.
You gotta hear everyone's drama and their complaints. Like it's a lot of work. Yeah. So she kills it. Yeah. So that's what the movie's about.
Hunter's so sweet. She would be a perfect professional bridesmaid.
She really, really, really would.
Yeah.
I can't even talk about how sweet she is. Like, I can't talk enough about how sweet she is. She's the real deal.
Yeah. We love talking to her. And then to have director Peter Benson.
Yes.
That's gotta be nice to have a director who understands actors and acting.
Oh, completely. And he's so professional and so kind. Gets the job done though. Like, I've worked with him. I've been in 2 of his movies. Oh, sorry, this is the second one I've been in of that he's directed, but I also worked with him on one of his mystery movies when he was acting in. Yeah, and he's a doll, and he's so smart. I love smart people. Yeah, he's very intelligent, very talented, very awesome to work with, and super funny. Like, just all around great person. Yeah.
So you were in Aurora Tea Garden then?
Yes, I was. Yeah, oh my gosh. I was a villain in one of those now that I remember.
Were you the murderer?
No, I wasn't the murderer, but I wasn't not a very nice person. I was not a nice person. I was very jealous of everyone. It was super fun to play. But like they always, if I'm a villain in any of these, I'm like a passive aggressive villain, just someone with no boundaries and someone who talks smack about people behind their backs. Like, I'm not like a villain. I want to be a villain.
Yeah. I think it would be fun to be the murderer in one of these mysteries.
Yeah, it would.
Very devious.
It would.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a lot of fun. We actually have never done our regular questions because I think the first time that we had you on, we were talking so much about craft services, we didn't have time. So
we did.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting topic. Like,
It
what
was
were
so
we
fun.
supposed to do?
One of my favorites all time interviews. It was
Aw.
so much fun. But let's do our regular fun questions. So the
Okay.
first question is, what is the best ice cream flavor?
Oh, girl. Do I have to pick one? I love mint. However, like coffee ice cream is so
Okay.
good.
Mhm.
They're equal. They're equal to me.
Okay, good. What is your favorite color?
I like turquoise.
Okay.
Yeah.
What music are you into?
I'm into everything, but my go-to is like R&B,
Okay, cool.
R&B hip hop. Yeah.
All right. What is your go-to date night food?
Oh, date night food. Usually like some fine dining of some sort because you take smaller bites. Like I eat really fast, if it's like sushi or anything else, I'm just stuffing my face. So, like some sort of fine dining fish or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So if you're wanting to take Donna out, you got to spend.
That's right. I'm an expensive date because I will also need an appetizer, a main, and a dessert.
Yeah. All right. What is your go-to date night activity?
I like dinner and like I like to keep it pretty simple, like a walk or something.
Yeah.
Or a show. Dinner and
Yeah.
a show.
Yeah. That would win a lot of bonus points for me, taking me to a
Right?
show or a concert.
You're like,
Yeah.
I'm technically working. So this is great.
Yeah, that's right.
Kill two birds with one stone.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah. I could.
Anyone who wants to take Rachel out, there you go. Take note. We got the notes for me. Those are your notes for Rachel.
That's right. All right. Which do you like better, dogs or cats?
Oh, I love cats. I feel like I'm a cat. That's why.
Okay.
I feel like you know how they get spazzy zoomies? That happens to me.
Uh-huh.
Like I get spazzy zoomies where I get like a burst of energy and act really weird. And then they also like to nap a lot. So I feel like I relate to cats more, but I love dogs as well. I love all animals.
All right. Which do you like better, beaches or mountains?
Beaches.
Yeah, me too. What is your favorite holiday to celebrate?
I'd say Halloween. Yeah. I'd say Halloween.
What's like your peak Halloween costume? One of your best.
Oh my gosh. So my best, like, and this is one of my favorite memories of all time. So I think I told you guys that I used to be a singer. Well, I still sing, but like I sang at this really popular club in Vancouver. And it was Halloween and they wanted us to kind of be zombies. And I was telling the house band guys, I was like, listen, I'm not going to be a zombie. I want to be a hot dog. I'm going to be a hot dog and there's nothing you can do about it. They're like, no, you got to be a zombie, like be a sexy zombie. I'm like, nope, I'm going to be a hot dog. I don't care what you guys think. And I got this like hilarious hot dog costume and everybody's zombies and I'm a hot dog. And I had the most fun on stage as a hot dog. And the whole audience loved it too. Like they were chanting hot dog, because I was acting a fool in my hot dog costume. So I think that takes the cake.
You were like ahead of the game with this everything everywhere all at once with the hot dog fingers.
Yeah, that's right. I predicted it. I predicted it.
Yeah. No, I love Halloween too. I get a lot of joy out of planning each year's costume. Like one year I was Waldo, one year I was an angel.
Aww.
This year I was like a 50s. I had a poodle skirt, kind of a thing.
Cute.
Look, that was fun. I've been Tracy Turnblatt from Hairspray.
Cool.
And, that's fun.
So you like Halloween too? Yeah.
I do. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It's the most fun. I think I did a lot of the sexy costumes when I was in my 20s, and just kind of like, you know what? Now it's time to have fun. I was a banana this one year too, and that was so much fun too. It's just really comfortable as well. Yeah. It's great being food. I want to be grapes one year. I think I'm gonna do it.
You should.
Yeah, maybe this year.
Have you ever heard of the book Letters from a Nut?
No.
It's I think the actual official author is Ted B. Nancy, but everybody basically knows that it's Jerry Seinfeld who's writing these.
Okay.
He does all the intros, and it's just everybody knows. And he writes corporations like ridiculous requests and then like publishes their letter back to him. And it is so funny. And he has a lot of ones where it's like, I'm going to be dressed in this ridiculous costume, and I just want to let people know or whatever that I'm going to be dressed in this costume for a dinner theater or something. And one he's dressed in a banana suit. He's riding Greyhound, I think it is, to let them know. Banana suit. And I think they were, they just sent kind of this form letter back, but sometimes they actually engage. I don't know if they like are aware of who he is, and so they'll kind of engage with the letters, and it is hilarious. There's one where he writes one of the he does a lot of casinos too. He writes this casino that he looks exactly like Abraham Lincoln, and he wants and the guy like writes back to him back and forth. He's like, you don't understand, sir. I look exactly like our 16th president.
See, it's in a company's best interest to just engage in these,
Yeah,
because if you get posted, you just get so much more respect, honestly.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up. That sounds hilarious.
It was really funny. He has another one where he, I think, writes, it's like Greyhound or someplace like that. He writes some, but he's going to be dressed as a giant stick of butter.
I'm totally stealing that. I want to be butter for Halloween. I want to be butter.
Yeah. And then my favorite one of all, though, is he has this one where he writes the stadium seat people who put in the seating at stadiums. And he's like, which way do you go? Do you go with your like butt facing the person that you're walking by, or forward? And like, what is the right way? And the guy from the seat company is like, this is the most fascinating question I have ever been.
I love that. It's good,
and it's true. Like, who hasn't thought that? Like, which way do I go? Stadium. but yeah, anyway, they're hilarious.
I need to look that up. That sounds so funny.
Yeah. All right. Last question. What is your favorite Hallmark or romantic movie?
Favorite? I think, okay, well, romantic movie of all time, I love Titanic. That's why when you said Titanic, and then I was like, oh my God, I want to see that. I need to. I love that story. Yeah. But I have to say, Farmer's Seeking Love is probably my favorite of MOW.
Nice. I definitely have to watch this.
Yeah, I promise you'll love it. You'll love it. It's so good.
Very cool. Well, you did it. You answered all the questions.
Yay! We didn't talk about food for the whole hour. Oops.
Well, if people want to follow you on social media, how do they do that?
You can find me on the Instagram. I'm Donna _B for real. Like B, the letter B, the number 4, and then real.
Great.
And I am on TikTok, but I'm kind of like, I'm a little unhinged on TikTok. There's not much going on TikTok. It's like a completely different thing. It's like the people that you follow on TikTok, you don't know, and they don't know you. So you could just do whatever.
Gotta look that up.
Right. It's Donna Benedicto with a 0 at the end. Is me.
You're going to be trying lots of lemon juice on your TikTok, right?
You know what? I should do that as an experiment on my TikTok. Rachel from Hallmarky's podcast suggested lemon juice in the eye. If I go to the hospital, we know who to blame.
Well, very good. Thanks so much for talking with us. And let's not have it be 3 years.
Yeah, can we
next
not?
time.
Next time. You're so much fun. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. We'd like to thank Donna for coming on the podcast. This was so much fun to get to talk with her. We had a great time. We always do with Donna. And let us know what you think of all the things we talked about in the comment section. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Pod, Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really, really, really appreciate that. And if you are listening on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group and merch store. Check that out. And thanks again to Donna. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.